This is going to get a little harder. So I don't know if I should split this up between two people or come back to David. I think I'll come back to David. I'm going to tell you 3 words now.
You're going to tell me what?
I'm going to tell you 3 words now, and I want you to remember them. And if this was an exam, I would say I'm going to ask you some other things and come back to this. It's because I'll ask some other people some other things and come back to you. So the 3 words are apple, table, and penny. So
What's the last one?
penny. So can you repeat them now?
Apple, table, and
Okay, well, I'm going to come back. So, really didn't double-sided on it. Oh, here's the one that graduate students do sometimes. I want you to start with 100 and subtract 7 from 100, and then keep subtracting by 7 until you get it stopped.
That's money.
Yeah. 65.
Okay, that's good. How many people think she got it right?
I'm not sure.
Okay, back to David. What were the 3 words?
apple, table, and
Okay, Shiva. Can you tell me what this is? And can you tell me what this is? Okay. Carrie, can you repeat the sentence? No ifs, ands, or buts.
No, it's ands or buts.
Oh, I need a piece of paper. This is a praxis. If she doesn't mind.
Okay.
Okay. I'd like you to take this piece of paper in your right hand, fold it in half, and put it on the floor. No coaching. No coaching.
Why did they ask you to put it on the floor?
You have to know what the floor is.
It's a 3-stage command. And you, okay. This one, everybody can say. Read this and do what it says. Some of you are lighting a little bit. Just close your eyes. Okay, and then Jeff, you have a sheet of paper handy?
Just my reading stuff. I do now.
Draw this design on the paper for me. No memory test.
Now I have a question. That's not something that we see every day and about the intersection and all that. But for the clock drawing test, why does it, even if they have numbers and they trail off and the circle is off, why does the physicality of the drawing change? It's so weird.
You can't tell till back later, but did you get the intersection?
For the best that I can do.
You don't count off for like wavery lines or just bad drawing and stuff. The test is actually having 2 5-sided figures that intersect so that you have 4 sides there. And it's what you tend to see in dementia is that you can get people who draw different kinds of figures so that you don't actually get 2 sides. And they're looking at you actually. What I do when I give it to people is they actually are drawing on the bottom of the sheet. So they have the figure right in front of them, and you get like triangles or squares or figures that where the edges don't meet at all, or the figures don't intersect. Yeah.
Is that supposedly because they're not recognizing that there's 2 shapes opposed on one another and they're trying to build it into single figures?
It's visual spatial problems. One of the things I've always never liked, this is a Philistine, one of the things I've never liked about it is that this is the only visual task on it. So when I get somebody who gets everything else right and does really badly on this, I like to have them do more testing because if you have like a right hemisphere vascular damage, for example, this is the kind of thing you'd mess up on. The rest of it is mostly pretty verbal. As you can see, not a hard test, right? So, and the cutoff that most people are using now is if you have to miss at least 4 to be considered cognitively impaired.
I would say.
Some people would set, we used to set it actually even lower than that. We used to also give people a little more leeway on some of the questions and tend to do at least some research studies. When Feldstein originally published this, you gave people some credit if they were in a couple of days either way, or they did not. In January, you gave people credit if they did it in the past year's date. I always feel a little bit bad giving people who are new to California counting off for getting the season wrong. Who can tell? There are different versions of it. There's been different versions published over the years. The first one that I learned, the 3 words, the apple table piercing, was ball, flag, and tree. That was some of the more interesting mistakes that you sometimes get, as I say apple table penny, and the patient says ball, flag, and tree. Now I know 2 things. They failed this. They don't have good memory skills. And they've taken this test before.
Does that actually happen?
Oh, yeah. Multiple times. Several times.
Wow.
There are different versions of this in terms of the way they're oriented on the paper. They all have sort of the same characteristics, but they're not always oriented the same way. That matters a great deal. One of the things a lot of people have talked about in terms of the scoring is lots of older adults have trouble with the serial 7s thing. And so there's actually an alternative built in if people can't do the subtraction at all, or sometimes just refuse to do it. And I've had people just say, I've never been good at math, I can't do this. You know, the option is spelling the word world backwards. It's interesting. They're both meant to be concentration tasks. Looking at it's different, and people have debated whether you ought to get points for being able to do both of those. Oh, we skipped to do a sentence thing. There's also one that we skipped over that's on a blank piece of paper. That's for me. Oh, I give you a blank piece of paper, and you write a sentence spontaneously. And it just has to have a subject and a verb in it. And people say things like, "You seem like a nice young man. I like red sports cars." So again, it has to, you actually have to be in pretty bad shape to mess this up. 2 ways that it's pretty well established that it goes wrong on a regular basis, I mentioned earlier in today's lecture, is that for people with less than an 8th grade education, very frequently score less than 26 on this, whether they have dementia or not. And so you get a lot of false positives with less than 8 years formal education.
At about what age?
16 up. So there are some people around who less than 8 years of education. And on the other end, it does badly too. People with lots of education. I mean, think about how far you guys are going to have to decline to miss 4 of these, aside from maybe the serial 7. And so I've consulted and done assessments on people. I got a referral once years ago from a social worker with the same team with me, where the client had gotten 30 out of 30 on Feldstein, perfect score. And after seeing him for 6 sessions, she still couldn't remember his name. And it was clear that she had moved to California within the past year, in the sense that she was consistent in saying that. But every time he asked her where she moved from,